Hey, what's up? It's your boy Cos Dramatic, and today I'm going to be unboxing the Avalon 737, and I'm going to be pairing it with the Neumann U87. Let's see. All right, now I got my Avalon hooked up, and it's all ready to go. All right, give it some power. Now, over here is your preamp gain. Here is your input selection. If it's line, instrument, or mic, it's going to be on mic for me. That's just a high pass frequency. And then over here, you got your high gain, your phase, your phantom power, and your low cut filter. And then over here is your compressor, which is the threshold, your ratio, your attack, and your release. Then over here is a VU meter. Then over here is your lovely EQ. Yep, you got your bass, your low mid, high mid, treble, and an output. And then you can adjust other frequencies on these down here. So this goes for this. The high mids go for that. Low mids go for this. Then your bass goes for this. Uh, Over here with the compressor, you can either compress, then EQ, or you can EQ, then compress by hitting this button here. Now, right now what we're seeing is the output level, and there's nothing going through it. But once I get to speaking through it, that's going to move. So once we got the input here, if I click on compressor here, this activate, this cuts on the compressor, and then if I hit this meter button here, that's going to show me my gain reduction for the compressor. And I'm going to explain this again so we don't get confused. You can compress, then EQ, and then you cut the EQ on over here. Now, if you want to EQ before the compressor, all you do is come over here and then hit EQ into compressor. And then that way you're able to EQ before the compressor. Now that I got it all hooked up, I'm about to plug the mic into the Avalon, and the Avalon is already routed to my Apollo Twin X. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure our preamp gain is down, and then I'm gonna cut on the phantom power. Once I've cut on the phantom power, all I wanna do now is give my input gain some input. All right, there we go. Mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2. Cos Dramatic in the studio. What it do? All right, so now I got it going. I got the mic. I got my U87 going through the Avalon 737 along with my Apollo Twin X. All right, so right now there is no compression or EQ. There is no compression or EQ. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to engage my compressor by hitting this button right there. All right. So what I'm going to do is now I'm just going to play with the compressor a little bit just to get a good feel and see how everything sounds. Mic check 1 2, 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 mic check 1 2. All right, so all I'm doing right now is just playing with the threshold a little bit. Get my threshold about right there. All right, now I'm gonna play with the ratio a little bit. I'm gonna play with the ratio a little bit. Just make sure I'm turning up the right knob. All right, so as I turn my ratio up, I'm gonna play with this. Mic check 1 2, 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 mic check 1 2. All right, mic check 1 2. All right, let me see here. All right, I'm gonna get my compressor about right there. I'm going to give it a fast attack, fast release, just to kind of catch those peaks a little bit. All right, so right now what you're seeing is the output level. All right, this is the output level. Oh, before I go here, let me explain this. This right here is the high gain. So you hear that? Wow, you guys hear that? All right, so if you have someone that's like singing or rapping and their voices are a little low, then you can just hit this and it'll boost it right up. But as you can hear it, when it does that, it picks up more of the room and this makes it a little bit very high. So I'm going to disengage that. All right, you guys hear the difference with that? That's what that does. All right, then here is your phase. If you had two mics running into here and you didn't want it to have a phasing issue, you would just hit that. But right now I'm only using one mic, so I don't really necessarily need this now. So I'm going to disengage that. And then here is my phantom power. And then right here is my low cut filter. If I just want to roll a little bit of bottom off just by hitting this button, I can. But not really worried about that right now. So I'm going to disengage that. All right. And then right here, I got my compressor on. As you can see, right now it's showing me my output level. So if I hit this right here, now what that's going to do is that's going to show me my gain reduction from the compressor over here. So over here is my EQ. So I'm going to cut this EQ on, and now I get to play with the compressor. And I'm just going to go all the way down just so you guys can just, see what it sounds like. Mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2. Okay, I like that, but I'm gonna tell you, when you guys cut up the high gain right here, it makes the preamp a little noisy. But that comes along with analog gear. All analog gear that you ever see when we use, the more you give it the treble over here, it's going to give it a little bit of air. But a little bit of air is okay, because a little bit of air is in everything. It don't matter if it's in instruments, bass, vocals, you'll get air anywhere. So I'm going to leave that right there, and then I'm going to cut it down so you guys can hear the difference. Mic check 1 2, 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 mic check 1 2. All right, so I'm gonna leave it there for now, and then I'm gonna play with the mid. Let's see what the mid sound like. Mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2. Wow. Okay, that makes it a little bit noisy too, a little bit of harsh. Let me back up a little bit so you guys can hear what that sound like. Mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2. Now that sounds a lot different. And this for you guys know, by the way, if you guys don't want to adjust the EQ section and you guys want to do some of it in post production, then you can just disengage that, and then that turns the EQ off. But let's put the EQ back on, and let's go to the low mid, and let's see what that sound like. Mic check 1 2, 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 mic check 1, and then a 2. All right, you guys see what that do? It makes it real like low mid, makes it kind of boxy. So I'm just going to turn that down. Just for you guys know, by the way, I personally would never turn my low mid up. If anything, I would just maybe cut some of it down just to roll off some of that low mid. All right, so now I'm going to play with the bass, and let's see what that sound like. Mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2. Wow, I can hear a little bit more of a rumble, definitely bassy. I can hear a little bit of that hum. All right, Let's cut that down. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. And mic check 1 2. Wow, that makes it very thin, very thin. So let me just cut that back up and let's see how that sounds. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. I'm gonna probably leave that there. Leave that low mid there. That sounds about fine to me for right now. You guys can just play with this. This is all part of the EQ. So if you guys want to play with this and you guys want to try it out, just go right ahead. I think this sounds pretty good. Let me cut that down just a little bit. Now, if I was using this for myself, I'd probably leave that probably about right there. I don't want it too hot, but it does sound nice. Let me cut this down just a little bit, maybe a little bit too hot. Wow, even when I'm licking my lips, it picks it up. This is a great mic, by the way. Great preamp, by the way. You will find a lot of studios using the U87 with the Avalon. Let's not forget about the LA610 too. The LA610 is a good preamp as well. This LA610 by Universal Audio, it may be a little gritty on the sound, but a little bit gritty is good depending on the person's voice, if they're rapping or singing. I've used this preamp as well for rappers and singers, and it sounds pretty well. I will have to admit the Avalon 737 is a little bit more transient than the LA610, but still a great preamp. I use this daily as well. So depending on what mics I use, I have about 8 mics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm sorry, 7. With the 7 mics I have in my house, it just depends on if I decide to run it through the Avalon 737 or the LA610. Depending on the mic and the person's voice, it just depends on what kind of feel you want to go for. Again, I'm running it through the Apollo Twin X. Using Pro Tools, a newer Mac, 2019 version Mac, and this sounds good. It sounds real good. It sounds real good. So if you guys ever want to check out, the Avalon 737, I would just say watch more YouTube videos. I am pairing this with the U87, and I think it sounds fine. I think it sounds real good. Like I said, I will probably compress a little bit coming in on the front. Maybe do a little bit of EQing on the front. Just know that whatever we do with the preamp here, we don't want to do a lot in the front because we may just want to make some adjustments in the post production. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've also get all my gear from Sweetwater. Shout out to Adam over there. I know there's a few of them. I forget his last name, but anyway, shout out to Sweetwater. Great company. I've been getting all my gear from them for like the last maybe 15 years. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Drop some comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about it. And yeah, just keep following me for more content. KazDramatic.net. That is KazDrumAtik for beats and content and all that good stuff. And then you can just find my Facebook and IG all on my site. KazDramatic.net. KazDrumAtik.net. Peace.